wanted to ask you, you think about the power of nations, because that is a very interesting topic that I wanted to share with you. What makes a nation powerful versus another one which maybe has sources and is not so powerful? What is the difference between a nation, another nation that different sources of power? Why China is so strong, Japan so strong, the US so strong, that don't have a lot of resources. The US has some resources, of course. Germany and Japan don't have a lot of resources. However, they're incredibly productive, very powerful nations. What do you think is the reason why this nation and their people are so incredibly strong? What do you
Mm,
think?
For the decision the government taken along of the story.
Well, that's very important, Mish. I'm gonna what you said. The decisions of their government. Okay. Now, this point is very important. The government of Germany, government of Mexico, government of Russia is a representation of the people. So the question is, why do these governments take good decisions, and why other governments cannot take so good decisions? I mean, we all are born with two brains. Just imagine, with one brain, hands, and two legs. We are all born the same. It's not that they are born with three brains, six hands, two arm, and three arms, and something. We are born the same. Do they make good decisions and we don't?
um, Probably for their history and yeah, the events that passed in that countries, and probably they learned about it, and obviously the education that people in other countries have, and the culture. I think that the culture of other countries defines their success or their failure. So I think that the culture is important.
Well, you said incredibly important, Mickey, and Mitch also mentions. You said, Mitch, that the decisions of governments are important. I absolutely agree with you. I am totally 100%. And then Mickey says something incredibly smart. He says that the history and events happens countries that shaped their outcome, and they have learned from them. What are those lessons? And I am talking about this because I want to show chapter from a book called The Comparative Advantage of Nations. And it's relevant because we see some nations that have such power, they own hotel chains, coffee shop stars, hobby shop chains, they own businesses, international businesses, and they're very successful and prosperous. But the question is why, good, and how can we get there? Mickey, you said events that shaped history. What are these events? And what are the lessons that we can learn? What those the those events? Do you think that it can be war, or what things can have such an impact in a country that make them change for the good, or is only
Yeah.
war?
Well, obviously war is one of them, but I don't know. For example, could be allow that they play in their country and probably good uh, uh, was successful or other. How can you say reformas?
Reforms,
reforms. Yeah, or
reforms, yes.
probably they did some reforms and they have success too, or they fail, and well, they can learn about it, or they could compare it with other countries
Okay.
and see compare and see if it works or if not.
Thank you, Mickey. Thank you very much. Very nice comment. What do you think about this, Mitch? What makes a country so strong and what makes other countries so weak? What do you think? You mentioned that the decisions of the government. What can we do as individuals to become stronger? Let's say that our government doesn't take very good actions and we don't like them very much. However, how can we become more independent and make ourselves strong, regardless of the government?
Mm. Um, maybe winning influence in some parts of some countries and getting the support also from the other countries to grow us, make us grow. Uh, well, I think the influences in general.
Okay, tell me about a country that you admire, that you think is powerful, interesting, that you would like to visit, that would you would like to learn from them, that you like for any reason, Mitch. That you say, "Oh, I like this nation, I like this culture, I like these activities." Which one do you like?
Canada.
Canada. Okay, I just met a Canadian guy a few minutes ago in the line. Canada.
Hmm.
Okay, he's from Vancouver, Canada.
Cool.
Right. Why do you like this country, their people?
uh, their education, their traditions, the environment, the structure, the laws, uh, things like that.
Well, it looks like you are writing the book here because that's what exactly it talks about the determinants of national advantage. Just what you just said. Exactly this. It looks like you are writing the book. Really good. Well, thank you, Mitch. And that is absolutely true. Let's read about the determinants of national advantage. Mickey, can you start reading these determinants of national advantage, please?
Yes, sure. Determinants of national advantage. Why does a nation achieve international success in a particular industry? The answer lies in four broad attributes of a nation that shape the environment in which local firms compete that promote or impede the creation of competitive advantage. Number one, factor conditions. The nation position in factors of production, such as skilled labor of infrastructure necessary to compete in a given industry. Second, demand conditions. The nature of homes demand for the industry, products or service. Third, related and supporting industries. The presence or absence in the nation of supplier industries and related industries that are internationally competitive. Fourth, firm strategy, structure, and rivalry. The conditions in the nation governing how companies are created, organized, and managed, and the nature of domestic rivalry.
Okay, thank you very much, Mickey. Now, from this, one that is new is the concept of rivalry. When you have rivalry, many competitors, there are rivals, that
Yeah.
makes everyone better. Uh, what do you think about having many rivals as opposed to having a monopoly? For example, what happened with the telephone industry when there were no rivals to Telmex? Remember that there was only Telmex? How was the
Yeah.
Yeah.
service? How,
Um,
Well, a little bit bad.
In
Yes,
actual times too.
exactly, exactly. So you need competition to become better, right? If not, you just give the service that you want. So rivalry or free competition is an advantage. But how can you guarantee free competition? How can you guarantee, Mitch, that a country is going to have free competition in many industries? How can you guarantee that?
Free competition?
Yes. How can you how can you guarantee that?
What is exactly a free competition?
Free competition is the lack of monopolies. Like for example, there was only telephone industry some years ago before AT&T entered the market, before um, Axtel started entering the market, before Sprint entered the market. There was only Telmex, and the service was terrible. There was only, well, as you know, was always a monopoly in the gasoline industry. So the gasoline was given at a price, right? In this moment, there is free competition, and still the gas does not go down. So that is tricky to understand. But normally, the price should go down when there is free competition. When there are not, there is not a monopoly, or when you fix the prices. For example, Mickey, you and I want to sell tortillas, but the government says, yeah, but you cannot sell them any higher than 20 pesos. That's the limit. So you can make excellent tortillas, or Mickey can make fantastic tortillas, or I can make good tortillas, but the top of the price is set by the government. So the price is regulated. The same with tennis shoes, or with guitars, or with software, or with anything. If there is a price regulation, you cannot give it more quality, because then it's going to be not profitable. You will not make a profit if there is a product that has a lot of quality, but you cannot increase the price. What do you think about that, Mickey?
Mm, well, I think that it's fair in part because, for example, if there are people in a specific country that do the same, probably if you, uh, well, probably the government gonna give you more chance to sell your things that people of other country. So I think that in part is fair.
What is fair? That there is a price ceiling, or no price ceiling? No price ceiling. Price ceiling. Ceiling is techo.
Yeah, that is price ceiling. Well, for example, if we are seeing of a person who lives in that country, but if you are a French people and you want to start in a new country, obviously it's a disadvantage.
What do you think, Mitch? Do you think there should be certain products that have a price ceiling, that you cannot increase the price, or any product should not have a price ceiling? What do you think?
Techo de precio.
Mm, Probably some, only some products.
Okay, like which products should have price ceiling? What do you think?
Mm, for example, tortillas, eggs. Uh, how can I say canasta básica?
Yeah, the basic basket.
Yeah, the basic basket products.
Basic basket products. Okay, can you take a quick look at internet, please, Mitch, Mickey, to find out which are the basic basket products? Just Google like that. Basic basket products, please.
Yes, sure. Hmm. I have here.
Basic basket of goods.
Mm,
Okay.
I found that the basket of goods includes basic food and beverage such as cereal, milk, and coffee. And it also includes housing cost, bed and furniture, apparel, transportation expenses, medical care cost. Is part of basket of goods?
Well, they're including that, although the basket of goods is for goods in general, not for products, but also services,
Ah, okay, okay.
which is, I mean, which is understandable. You don't want to pay a lot for transportation, but really the objects, the goods, uh, includes normally products and services, whereas the basic basket includes only products like cereal, milk, coffee,
Mm-hmm.
and etc. But but it's okay. Cereal, milk, coffee. How about vegetables? Do you think vegetables should belong to the basket of goods or the
Yeah.
basic
Yes.
basket? Yes. Why, Mitch?
Mm,
Because, for example, in the plate of good eat, I think that's the name, and the area of vegetables and fruits are the biggest. If something like that, if uh, absolutely needs to be in the basket.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. What do you think, Mickey, about the goods, the services? Which services should be part of the basket of goods?
um, could be mm, recreational expenses.
Wow, that's interesting. For example, talk about gyms, amusement parks, or what?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Movie theaters.
Mm, yeah, or could be admission to some parks, museums.
I like that very much. So your suggestion is that these costs should be regulated by the government. There should be a ceiling,
Yeah.
a cap. Okay,
Hmm.
that's interesting. Does that happen in Mexico, or it does not happen?
Mm, well, for example, park admissions, probably no, because there are some parks in Mexico, for example, Xcaret, that is expensive.
Yeah,
But of museums and that stuff, I think that yes. Or for example, if you have your uh, student ID, or if you are uh, Altinoc and you have your INAPAM, you could have a part
right.
of that discount.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Actually, if you recall, all the transportation intercities have a discount during the vacation period, right? I believe for students, if you show your ID, you
Yes.
get a student discount.
Hmm.
Up to what is
Yes.
the maximum discount, Mitch, that you can get as a student during the vacation period?
I think that is the 50%, right?
50%. I
I
believe
think it
so.
is.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
50%. 50%. What other benefits do you normally have as students? For instance, if you go to the pyramids in not Chichen Itza, in Teotihuacan, You don't pay anything. Did you know that?
Mm,
No.
no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, if you're a teacher or a student and you go to Teotihuacan, instead of paying 80 pesos or 90 pesos, you don't pay anything. I'm sorry, no, no, no. You pay 50%. You pay 40
Oh,
pesos
it
instead of
is.
80 as a
Oh,
student or as a teacher if you go to Teotihuacan, to the pyramids. And you have many other benefits. So there are some social benefits that we have. But for example, amusement parks, well, if you go to the Sports City complex, you get very low prices, right? But if you go to movie theaters, because they are not public, they are private, it's very unlikely that you get discounts, don't you think? Or do you ever get discounts in movie theaters when you go to the cinema, Mitch or Mickey?
No,
mm,
only if it's a promotion or something like that, but and a specific discount, for example, for me like a student, no,
You don't get it, right? Exactly.
no.
Exactly. Well, let's hear the determinants for the advantage of a country. Uh, there is the next paragraph, Mitch, which is quite interesting.
yes.
Can you read the second paragraph and the third paragraph, Mitch?
Hmm. Can you hear me?
No, no, I cannot.
No. Can you
I,
hear me now?
I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you. Let's see if you can read this, please.
Okay.
The determinants.
The determinants typically as a system create the context in which a nation's firms are formed and compete, the availability, the resources and skills necessary for competitive advantage in an industry, the information that shapes what opportunity are perceived and the direction in which resources and skills are deployed, the goals of the owners, managers, and employees that are involved in or carry out competition, and most important, the pressures on firms to invest and innovate. Firms gain competitive advantage where their home allows and supports the most rapid accumulation of specialized assets and skills, sometimes due solely to greater commitment. Firms and gain competitive advantage in industries when their home base affords better ongoing information and insight into a product and process needs. Firms gain competitive advantage when the goals of owners, manager, and employees support intense commitment and sustained investment. Unti- Ultimately, nations succeed in particular industries because their home environment is the most. Um, could you scroll down a little? Thank you. Is the most dynamic and the most challenging and stimulate and prod firms to upgrade and widen. What means widen, teacher?
To make bigger, to make wider,
Okay. And
ensanchar.
essential. Okay. And one widen their advantages over time.
Okay, let's start three restaurants. Let's start three restaurants. Mickey, you and I are going to start three restaurants. This is going to be Mitch's restaurant. This is my own restaurant, right? Right. And Mickey's restaurant. And this is Mickey's restaurant. Okay, what is the first thing that we need to start a restaurant? You want to start a restaurant, I want to start a restaurant, and Mickey wants to start a restaurant. What is the first thing that we need?
Um,
Mm,
has employees.
Well, we need a good cook, right? A good chef.
Mhm.
yeah,
Good cook. What else do we need? You need what
Um,
else?
the
Uh,
all the ingredients of our menu.
Ingredients, right? Good ingredients, of course. Good
uh,
ingredients.
an establishment.
An establishment, of course. What else?
Mm,
Promotion.
good promotion. Good marketing.
Of course. What else? Good cook,
Uh,
establishment, promotion. The furniture, right?
Yeah,
Furniture,
furniture.
chairs,
what
tables,
was furniture?
muebles,
Muebles.
mueblería, chairs, tables, sofas, benches, a counter, a bar, the
Mm,
shelves, everything that is needed
would
for the restaurant
be
to operate.
legal documents.
Legal documents, of course. Yeah, that these are all very important. Okay, so the three of us want to get that really quick, right? And we need that with no delay. What happens if in my town there are no cooks? There are no good cooks. Or let's suppose that in Mickey's town, I live in Irapuato, or I live in Romita. Mitch lives in Irapuato, and Mickey lives in Salamanca, right? Let's suppose. And in Salamanca, there is no good furniture, no good furniture, no good furniture, no good furniture, and I have no good cooks. And Mitch has good cooks, good ingredients, or I want to prepare a special soup, an avocado soup, or I
Okay.
want guacamole, but I have no avocados, right? So I'm gonna suffer. I will need to import them, and that's gonna make them more expensive. Or my guacamole is gonna be no good, or it's gonna be not so tasty, right? No good avocados. So I'm gonna suffer. Or let's say that Mickey has no good promotion strategies, right? No good promotion. What's gonna happen? Who's gonna be the leader in the restaurant industry?
Um, Probably Mitch.
Probably Miss, right? Because she has all the ingredients. She has the legal documents, the furniture, promotion, good establishment. So it looks like it has no impact. But if I don't teach the population to cook, you think, well, I don't care. I go my own way. I don't care if the population learns to cook or not. That's not my problem. Well, it is your problem eventually, because if you have no good cooks, or if you have no good engineers, or if you have no good politicians, or if you don't have anything good, eventually your business is going to suffer, right?
Yes.
So, one of the problems that, for example, I'm going to tell you something that happened recently. There was a Chinese guy in the hotel. He wanted a coconut. You know what he did? What do you think he did? That tells you a lot about the culture of a country. What do you think he did? He wanted a coconut.
Mm, well, he asked the hotel for a coconut, but for the I forgot the
Yes,
how can you say mesero? I forgot it.
the waiter, the waiter.
Wait,
Wait.
Okay, what do you think, Mitch, that he did? What do you think he did? He wanted a coconut. What did he do? Well, he asked the waiter, "Where is there a coconut?" And the waiter showed him a palm tree,
where is a country?
una palmera.
Primera.
Oh,
So, do you know what the Chinese guy did? he asked for a knife, or he wanted to climb the tree. To climb the tree, he says, I want to cut the coconut. So he wanted to trim the coconut. Quería cortar el coco. He could climb the palm tree, but he tried. He says, I want to climb the tree. He couldn't because it was difficult to climb a palm tree that he's not used to climbing, but he tried. He was trying to climb, escalar el tronco, right? But he couldn't. But he tried. Then,
And
the,
sorry, he wasn't joking, or was real?
no, no, he was dead serious. He was dead serious. But he tried to climb. He says, "I want coconuts from Mexico, but I don't want to be served on the table. I want. Where is the palm tree over there? Okay, I want to grab it." He wanted to grab the coconut. He tried to climb the palm tree. He couldn't. He only reached half the trunk, but he tried to grab it. Right. So the local guy told him, "Ha ha ha! You cannot do that." But he applauded him because he tried to. The second thing he says, "Okay, bring me the coconut." So the guy says, "Okay, here's the coconut, but I'm gonna cut it." No, 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 no! Don't cut it. Bring the knife. So he tried to cut the coconut by himself. You think he could? Yes, he could.
Yeah.
Yes, he could. Yes, yes, he could. But he. So my point is, they trying to learn the technology, even of cutting coconuts. To that point are the Chinese guys.
Wow.
So that shows you a mentality that we don't have. Actually, we don't have that. We want to be served everything on the table and do nothing, and of course we pay for it.
Hmm.
And the Chinese are different. They try to cut the coconuts, to cut them, to do everything by themselves, to learn every technology. That's why they can make atomic bombs, they can make cars, they can make ships, they can make transformers, they can build everything because they grab the technology. And we can be building cars in Mexico for 50 years and we don't have a brand yet. So that's the difference in the culture. And that is exactly what Mitch was referring to when she said the culture of people, right? That shows you the culture of the Chinese people, right? The culture of the Chinese is to learn every aspect of the technology, down to the point of cutting down coconuts. That is
Yeah.
remarkable. So, what do you think about this, Mitch?
Well, I think that is the difference between, for example, me like Mexican and other cultures. Um, Obviously, it's not in general. Like everything, there are people who are more interested in that, and there are people who are not. But probably we need to copy that type of
Behavior,
mentality or behavior.
mentality.
Yes.
Exactly, exactly, exactly. Right, exactly right. I'm gonna give you a second example. When I was living in Oregon in the US,
Yeah.
all my neighbors were American.
Hmm.
They all wanted to meet me, yeah, to say hello, this, but they say, hey, do you have jalapeno peppers? Jalapeno peppers, yes, why? We want the seeds. The seeds? Yeah, because we grow them here now. Do you grow jalapeno chiles? They grow them in pots. Okay. They grow them because they prefer to grow them than buy them in the store. And they learn that technology from the Mexicans that go to the US. So They are so smart that they learn every kind of technology because they want even to grow the chilies. They prefer to grow them than buy them. And that's something that we need to acquire as well. We need to learn things. We need to grab the technology of everything we do. Right? We don't know many things that we should know. How to process metals, how to build machines, how to make recipes, how to process food, how to work with glass, how to do everything, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, how can we build an industry if we don't know how to do anything, right? So these two examples tell you about the culture of people, right?
Absolutely. Wow.
They went to the point of even growing jalapeno chilies or serrano chilies or whatever. So these two examples tell you a little bit about the culture of people that Mitch was mentioning, which is very important. Mitch was saying that the culture of people is incredibly important, and she was right, right? We want to learn as much as we can about anything. All right, well, that's another point. What do you think about this, Mickey?
Mm, well, we need to step by step change a little bit our way of thinking and our mentality because if we want to be com- a country enough competitive with other countries, we must change some behaviors that we have or some uh, paradigms. Oh, yeah, I see correctly
Yes.
that we like Mexicans created.
Yeah.
So, uh,
Can you repeat what you just said, Mickey? That's incredibly important. Let me write it down, please. We need to change some paradigms.
yes, we need
What
to
else?
change some paradigms that we like Mexicans created, or like culture in general.
Okay. Acquire. Mitch, or you also said that we need to copy these practices, acquire some practices that some people like the Chinese or the Americans have, right?
Hmm.
The Germans,
Or Japanese.
the Japanese, Chinese, Japanese, Americans, Germans, Americans have. Yeah, they have this attitude of trying to do as much as you can, right, by yourself.
Yeah.
You know the concept of spoon feeding. You know this concept.
Um, no, sure.
You know what a spoon is.
Cuchara?
Yes, and spoon feeding is when
No.
you feed a baby with a spoon in the mouth. You give something
Okay,
to
okay.
someone in the mouth. So
Mm-hmm.
when you say he's putting feeding his friends, is that you're giving them everything easily in the mouth. Just all they need to do is to swallow from the spoon. Spoon feeding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, we have that behavior in Mexico normally, and we need to stop that. We need to be spoon fed, to be given everything in the mouth. We need to work for things more than we used to. What do you think about that, Mitch? Do you agree?
See?
Sure.
Yeah, spoon feeding is when a baby is fed in the mouth with a spoon. You spoon feed a baby so that the baby doesn't have to make so much effort, right? You give everything digested or very easy to eat or to drink, right? And we're normally used to that in the country because we just buy things, we don't produce them, and we need to change that. And Mickey says a magic phrase. He says, step to step, little by little, we need to change these habits, this attitude, We need to start producing our own things. We need to start
Yes,
building our own things, our own machinery, our own infrastructure, our own technology, our own things. Do you agree with that, Mickey?
yes, sure. I think that we are get used to uh, that do the things in an easy way, or we are not get used to try new things. Only if some people or some person teach to us, but I think that we don't have like this mentality to, uh, for example, for myself, learn something new. I think that we are not uh, get used to that.
Right. That's a great phrase. How can you get a new habit? For example, I believe that Mitch has a very strong quality that she thinks in a. Mitch, do you think you have this ability that you think in a periscopic way, like in a very wide way, not very focused, but in a very wide way, that you have a 360-degree view? Do you think you have this quality?
Uh, Teacher, I hear you very
Broken? Okay.
glitch.
Okay, let me ask you this question. Periscopic. Do you have a periscopic view, Mitch?
Where is the periscopic view?
That you don't see something very narrow, but you see it very wide in a wide angle. That you see a lot of things, not only one small thing here focused, but the opposite. You have a periscopic view, like helicopter view, that you see things from the top and you see a lot of things. You don't see the tree, you see the forest, right?
Mhm.
You don't see a tree, you see the forest. Do you agree with this? Does this apply to you?
In my case, well,
Yes.
I think yes. I can see the things in the form that the society are established them. Always I see every little thing have a lot of possibilities, and that's why a lot of times I just stay quiet because I I'm afraid if I said something wrong, but I think everything has a lot of possibilities in all the cases and subjects.
Right. Well, uh, fear is normal in every person, in every group, in every group. And when you talk about groups, you want to be safe when you say something. So you have the group, which is the strongest group that you belong to, the strongest one, the most powerful group that you belong to. Probably what? The family, right?
Yes.
No,
Because in
I
the
don't know.
family, you are, well, you have the fam. Well, it's other groups. Other groups. You have the group of the friends. You have the group of classmates. Classmates. Okay, friends. What are the groups you have, Mickey? Friends, family, colleagues at work, or classmates? What are the groups you have?
Classmate.
What else?
Mm,
A religious group. Maybe you belong to the Catholic Church or the
yeah,
Protestant Church
that's
or the
good.
Christian Church. So the religious group, right? Religious groups, religion, etc. I mean, there are lots and lots of groups, and well, in many cases, the strongest group normally, usually is the family, for the simple reason that, uh, well, I think it's obvious. The answer is obvious. The family is a strong group. You protect each other. Your dad protects you. Your mom protects you. Your brother protects you. Your sister protects you. Everyone is looking after the other. Um, like in any group, I am in the sports group and I hate America, and maybe Mickey loves America, right? Or Mitch loves Guadalajara or the Chivas and I hate him, or the opposite, right? There's going to be controversies. But that's normal in any family, in any group, in any religion, right? In religions, there are conflicts too. Some people believe that Mary was uh, the mother of God, and other religions believe that she was just a normal lady, normal human being. So there are differences in every group, but still you're still protected, right? So well, I'm deviating a little bit from the topic. The idea is that you have a periscopic view, and that allows you to see many possibilities in a, for example, in a nation, Mitch. Let's talk about a nation really quick, because that's the topic of today, right? Power in a nation. What makes a nation more powerful?
Mm,
What do
their
you
resources.
resources? Okay. What else?
Mm,
Mm, their people.
Yeah, but in what sense, Mickey? The people make the nation more powerful.
The
their
mentality of
goals.
the people or the culture of the people.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, agreed. Totally agreed. Uh, what does Mickey mean by this, Mitch? When he says mentality, what is the mentality that we expect or that we suppose these people have? What is the mentality they have?
I think, for example, if are people in the world which just wait for something good happen to them and don't do anything relevant to improve of their selves, but in other hand are people who put effort and care and everything that they do, and if they join in a group that has the same mentality, they can uh, how how was how can I say lograr
Achieve,
uh,
Achieve.
achieve.
achieve big things.
I like this phrase very much. Can you read it out, please, Mitch?
Uh, there there are people mentality. There are people who make an effort and care in everything they do. Join a group with the same mentality, they can achieve a lot of things.
Yeah, I absolutely love this phrase, um, because it's true, right? You need to make a strong effort and take care of everything you do, and particularly join a group with the same mentality. In other words, if you want to be a successful person and you want to build machines for the export industry, instead of buying them from Holland or Italy or the US, you want to build your own machines, right? What kind of group do you join? You should join, because we tend to buy everything, right? We don't build things. Well, if you want to be a creator, if you want to build your own machines, what kind of group you have to join?
Probably a group who create different things. A group of engineers or a group of of people who wants to make a change.
Exactly. Well, thank you very much. That's a great comment, Mickey. Thank you very much, Mitch. Fantastic. Now, the second word that Mickey mentioned was, or Mitch, was mentality and culture. This second word, culture, is incredibly important. What can you say about that, Mickey or Mitch? One is mentality, and the second is the culture.
Mm, yeah, I think that culture is uh, one of the most important things in a society or in a country because, for example, we put here that resources is one of the things that you need to have power in a nation. But if you don't have the culture to manage that those resources, probably you're not gonna uh, take a real advantage of them, or and you're not gonna guard your resources, and yeah, you're gonna how can I say desaprovechar, teacher?
Um, Waste.
You're gonna waste uh, all the resources or all the benefits that you like country have. So
Exactly.
I think that the culture is too necessary to be aware of the things that you're doing and trying to be the most careful with them.
Can you repeat that? What you said? People need to be aware of what?
People need to be aware of, uh, yeah, of all the benefits that you like country has.
Exactly. Well, look at what you just said. Can you read it out, please, for us?
Mhm. Culture is one of the most important things in a society or a country, as we need resources, but we need smart people to manage wisely those resources. People need to be aware of all the benefits that you as a country have.
Exactly, exactly. So that goes back to education, right? I remember when I was a child, that was a long time ago, like 50 years ago, and they taught us about the Plan de Ayutla, Plan de Ayala, plan of this, plan of that, but they never told us that Oaxaca had uranium, Guanajuato had gold, silver, bronze, that we had in Sonora. That they didn't tell you what you have. They taught us lots of laws, lots of meaningless things, but didn't tell us that we had uranium, we had oil, we had silver, gold, zinc, where it was. They never told us that Tony in Guerrero lost, uh, I don't know, 15,000 pesos. And if you sell it in Canada, you convert those 15,000 pesos into $10,000. They didn't teach you that because people wanted to monopolize knowledge, right? They wanted to eat the whole cake by themselves. They want to share. So
Yeah,
I want to eat it all myself. I don't teach you that. And then we come back to the restaurant situation in which you want a good chef, Mickey or Mitch wants a good chef, but there are no good chefs because we didn't teach anyone.
Mhm.
Yeah, we said, I want to be the only chef in town. But then when you want to escalate, we want to set up your restaurant and you need somebody to cook. Nobody knows how to cook. That's a problem because we want to be the only cook. We want to become managers of a restaurant. There are no cooks available. Same thing with engineering and with anything else. So we need to teach people massively. We need to teach everything as much as we can, and we need to name what we have for what it is. I don't care if a man becomes a millionaire because I told him, look, you can sell the mangoes in Vancouver instead of 10 pesos the kilogram as here in Guerrero. You sell them $15 the pound and you become rich. I don't care because that is not my business, right? That's not a competitor.
mhm,
So I can, and that's what the Chinese people do normally, I think, right? They try to learn as much as they can. And if it's not in their against them, they show you the map of the treasure. Actually, that's very important. Technology is like the map of the treasure. What do you think about this phrase, Mitch? Do you agree?
It's like the mouth, the treasure. What was the meaning of treasure?
Tesoro.
Tesoro.
No, here is. Mm, could be.
Yes.
Maybe because
Could be, right?
uh, because the technology along of the story help us to do things that in the beginning of the story of the humanity we never imagined.
Yeah. Now, what is the most basic form of technology, Mickey? Most basic form of technology. We're not talking about integrated circuits or international business or EPROMs or circuits, but the most basic, you say, well,
Mm,
the most elementary thing we can do, the most basic technology is what?
the most basic technology.
Yeah, that you
Yeah.
say this is ancient, this has had centuries.
Mm, well, I don't know if I correctly understood the question, but I think that, mm, for example, the
Balances.
machines that they used. No, I don't know, teacher.
Balances.
Okay,
Fully.
say that again, Mitch. I cannot hear you very well. What?
Balance or pulley. A
Pulley.
pulley.
Okay, well, yeah, pulley, pulley, which are is a tool, right?
Mhm.
Tool, tools to make other tools, right? And what do you think? This is very important. A pulley, una polea, to make, and you make other tools, right? And make tools to make other tools, right? Herramientas. You make tools, ramps,
Could be gunpowder.
gunpowder, right? Gunpowder, pólvora. You want to make
Um,
tool. You want to make tools. What about food? What is the problem with food? What do you want to do with food? You wanna
Uh,
make. You wanna.
that food could get rotten.
Yes, exactly. So what do you wanna do with food? You wanna preserve the food, right? Food preservation.
Yeah.
That is ancient. You killed a lion. Well, but you killed a rabbit or a deer because you were a hunter, but you didn't want the food to get rotten immediately, so you probably froze it or you hid it, you put it in a shelter, or then you learn to cook it, to burn it, right, in
Yeah.
fire. That so food preservation is one of the oldest technologies because you wanted to preserve the food for longer. So this is very ancient, very
Hmm.
old, but very important. To this day, food preservation is one of the most important problems and challenges of humankind, right? Because you want to conserve the food for longer time now.
Yeah.
Okay. And then there is what you said, there is evolution, evolution of the technologies for more complex needs. For example, I want to be accepted in a group of friends, right? Because they all like tennis or they all like chess. All my friends like traveling or jogging or whatever, but they all wear nice tennis shoes. So if I want to belong to that group, I need to buy me a good pair of tennis shoes. Or they say, no, this is only a group for bodies and they all wear Nikes or whatever. So I need technologies to develop, to build, to make good tennis shoes, right? A good technology. So these social needs are more complex,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And I want to be part of that group. But if my friends wear nice tennis shoes, I want to dress like them. If I mean that's normal.
Yeah.
So the do you what is the Maslow pyramid, Mitch? Do you know about that?
the most what?
Maslow pyramid.
Mm,
You can
I
Google that.
hear a bit, but I really don't know.
Basic needs.
Basic needs go at the bottom, and then you climb up the pyramid, and you get more complex needs, right? Can you Google
Yeah.
that, please?
Hmm. I have here, teacher.
Can you share the screen, Mickey, please?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, is that a piano, Mitch? What you have?
What?
Is that a grand piano, concert piano? What you have?
Yes.
Wow, is that yours? Is that in your house? The
No.
grand concert piano?
I wish that, but unfortunately no.
Wow, that's a full concert piano. Well, one day you let me play it.
Okay, okay. We'll
But
show you one.
is that in your house?
Yes.
Really? Wow.
Mhm.
You play there, Mickey and Mitch?
Sorry, teacher.
Do you play in that grand concert piano?
One day.
Wow, it's impressive. Okay, very nice. Okay, Mickey, thank you.
Uh, I'm
Can you
sharing,
share
I
the
think.
screen?
Hmm. I think that is loading.
Okay, great. Very nice.
Mm. Can you see it?
Yes, I can see it now. Nice. Slowly. All right, very nice. Let's talk about it for a little bit. Um, can you read this chart, Mitch? Read the first one in the bottom, then Mickey, you read safety needs, then Mitch, love and belonging, then esteem, and so on. So, Mickey, can you read physiological needs, please?
Yes. Physiological needs. Well, there are air, water, food, shelter, sleep, clothing, and reproduction.
Yeah, we want to preserve the species, right? We will continue having kids, grandchildren, and all that. What about safety needs, Mitch?
Safety needs, personal security, employment, resources, health, property.
What does that mean? What does personal security mean?
Um, Maybe caring about that, preventing of nothing bad happen to us in the, how can I say, entorno,
Environment?
the environment.
Mm, could be like
Being careful.
safety needs are more fundamental than uh, physiological needs because there are things that you need to, yeah, to be safety, uh, like a human being.
But
I think.
personal security.
Yes. For example, the physiological needs are the things that you need to live, but the safety needs, I think that there are the things that you need to actually live in a good way in the actuality.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's not the same to sleep in a shelter, which is albergue, than
Yeah.
sleeping in a house that is your house. You want to be healthy. What about love and belonging? Can you read that, please?
Me?
Yes, please.
Love and belonging, friendship, intimacy, family, sense of connection. Connection, sorry. Sense of connection.
Right.
Um, yeah, we are social beings, so we need to develop friendship and have a family and that stuff.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What about esteem, Mitch? What do you think about these topics? Can you read them out, please, and tell us about them?
Esteem. Respect, self-esteem, status, recognition, strength, freedom, um, maybe I think this is a kind of self stimulation in the view that if we achieve our goals, we need to feel good of it, and social as of course we are as humans social beings, and if we achieve our goals we want involuntary that being recognized about it, and that feels good, and in the chemistry way we it's difficult, sorry. uh, we feel good if someone recognize of if we achieve a goals.
Ex- exactly, exactly. You want recognition because you have a good name in your family. Oh, you are the daughter of Mr. Miguel or Martha, right? You have a good name because your family has a good name. You have a good status because you study in a good school. You have recognition because you and Mickey are nice people. Uh, you are also you have respect from people, respect, self-esteem, status, and another word which is at the end. You have strength because obviously you eat well, you go to the gym, you do exercise, this and that. What about freedom? That is a complex concept. What do you think about that concept, Mickey, Mitch? Freedom.
Uh, well, we can refer to freedom like the liberty that you can choose, or well, suppose that you can choose the things that you want to do, the things that, for example, you want to eat, and who you want to convert, obviously, without affect the others.
Mhm.
Right. um, what is the boundary, or what is the limit of freedom, Mitch? If I say, okay, I'm free, I can do anything I want, well, more or less, there is always a limit. What is the boundaries that people have in
if
anything we want
you
to do?
if you affect on a negative form third persons or
Right.
peoples with your actions.
Yes, I think
Okay.
that you need to have obviously responsibility and freedom. Both things go together because if you don't want to take responsibility of the things that you want to do, well, you can't have freedom either. So, um, yeah, it's a responsibility to. I think that is. How can I say deber teacher? Deber de como respeto y obligaciones, como en ese tipo de
It's
cosas.
our duty.
Yeah,
Our
it's
duty.
yeah, it's her duty.
Our duty. Yeah.
Duty.
Our obligation. Our duty. Yeah. Yeah. I like
Mhm.
this word very much, Mickey. I like it very much. Well, there are lots of complex things that we need to discuss and that we enjoy. I mean, I love these discussions with you guys because even if these are complex topics, I very much enjoy your opinions, your comments,
Thank you, sir.
your points of view. So at the same time, well, we acquire new language. We get to know different uh, possibilities. We have
Yeah,
new,
absolutely.
yeah, these examples about, for example, the example of the Chinese guy is recent. Right? He wanted to
Hmm.
cut off the coconut by himself. He climbed the palm tree, and he 1 meter from grabbing the coconut when he gave up. But he said something, according to the waiter. He says, "Okay, I couldn't this time, but I'll come back tomorrow." I'm gonna ask him if he did. He says, "I'll come back. I'll come back tomorrow. I will cut down the coconut myself." The Chinese guy said. Well, I love that mentality.
It's a good mentality.
All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna let you go, guys. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much, teacher.
Mitch, take care. Mickey, take care.
Thank you so much, teacher, for your
Thank you very
Yes.
time.
much. When do we meet
You guys
again?
too,
When?
and enjoy your vacations, teacher.
Thank you
Tomorrow?
very much. We
Tomorrow
could do
it's
this
good for you,
tomorrow.
teacher.
Tomorrow, yeah, probably yes. Let me
You
discuss it
tell
with.
us.
Okay, if for any reason it gets complicated, maybe next week we could do 3 classes if possible. You tell me about that. Is that
Yes,
okay?
teacher. If it's complicated for you tomorrow, we can do 3 class the next week. There's no problem.
Okay, but just in case that it gets complicated, yeah, and if that is fine with you guys, with you, Mickey and Mitch. If not, we
Perfect.
can do it tomorrow or Saturday morning, maybe. What about
Okay.
that?
Yeah,
Is that okay?
Mhm.
it's okay,
Yes?
teacher. Perfect.
Well, guys, thank you very much. Enjoy your
Take
day
care, teacher.
and see you soon. Take care. Bye. Mitch, take
You as
care.
well, teacher.
Mickey,
Thank you
Thank
so
you very
much,
much.
enjoy.
teacher. Take
Have a
care.
wonderful day. Bye bye.
Same.
You too.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.